State of Kansas versus Antonio Manuel Perez-Biehl. Are you Antonio Manuel Perez-Biehl?
Yes, sir, I am. Yes, Your Honor, I am.
All right. Mr. Perez-Biehl, do you have an attorney?
No, I do not. But I do believe I have the right to face my accuser. And on the record and for the record, and let the record show.
Okay, Mr. Perez-Biehl, this is your first appearance. You are charged in count 1 with criminal trespass, a Class B non-person misdemeanor. A Class B non-person misdemeanor is punishable up to 6 months in the county jail and a fine not to exceed $1,000. You understand what you're charged with?
On the record, on and for the record, and let the record show, I have the right to face my accuser.
On the record, for the record, let the record show that you have been offered a copy of our latest book, I Do Not Consent, which YouTube Sovereign Citizen video fans are ordering in droves. Order your copy today. One YouTube fan described it as inexpensive and entertaining, all about magical motions, made-up mandates, and misguided mumbo-jumbo. We think you'll love it. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description. And while you're clicking, please click the subscribe button and finally put us over the 1,000 subscriber mark. Thank you.
An accuser must be a living man or woman.
Stop.
Therefore, I move to dismiss the case entirely.
Well, that's not going to be done. Mr. Perez-Biehl, I asked you a question. Do you understand what you're charged with?
No, I do not.
All right. What is it that you don't understand about the criminal trespass charge?
I don't know why I'm being charged with a criminal trespass. I have a picture of me and my children over there on November 23rd or 27th. I'd have to go back and date it. My livestock, please let me finish, Your Honor. My livestock come up missing. Whenever that man, I had that leased. Whenever that man come down here, my hot wire come up missing. The fence that divided our two properties. He cut a hole in his fence. I have a witness who is a neighbor stating that he's seen a young man and a young woman out there removing that hot wire. I've never once had a problem. He showed up, our hot wire come up missing, and a hole got in the fence. Whenever that happened, I called one of your deputies, Deputy Joe Love. He showed up to the scene.
All right, Mr. Perez-Biehl.
I have a right to look for my missing livestock.
Mr. Perez-Biehl,
I'm filing an interlocutory appeal.
You need to stop talking for a moment. This is a first appearance.
Well, this is wrong.
So this is a first appearance. At that time, what I do is I go over the charges, what the potential penalties are, and try to explain to you your rights. Please do not interrupt any further. Do not go off on tangents. I'll have some questions for you that you'll need to address. First of all, in regards to your rights, you have the right to a trial, either to the court or if you request in writing a request for a jury trial. At a trial, the state has the burden of proof. The burden of proof in a criminal case is beyond a reasonable doubt. At a trial, you have the right to be represented by an attorney or to represent yourself. You understand you have the right to, at a trial, to cross-examine the state's witnesses and to call witnesses on your own behalf. You may use the court subpoena power to be sure that other witnesses appear. Do you understand these rights?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, at a trial, beyond the right to cross-examining the state's witnesses and calling witnesses on your own behalf, you have the right to either testify or not testify as you see fit. If you choose not to testify, then that cannot be considered against you into determining if you're guilty or not guilty.
Must my accuser be a living man or woman?
Okay, Mr. Perez-Biehl, I'm not sure where you're getting this.
The Sixth Amendment.
All right, this is the first appearance, as I've indicated before. Now, if you wish to be represented by an attorney, you can hire one or you can apply to the court if you choose.
Let's take this to trial. Jury, I want a
You're
jury
requesting-
trial.
All right, first of all, let's answer the question about the attorney. Are you going to represent yourself or are you going to hire an attorney?
I will, at this point, I'll represent myself. And if I have the fine,
You blocked out, Mr. Perez-Biehl.
can you hear me now?
And now I can hear you. The last thing I heard before it blacked out was in regards to you're going to be representing yourself and that you
I will
want
I will represent myself unless I'm financially able to hire an attorney. But last time I spoke to my attorney, Mrs. Mary Ann Shirley, she told me that Jill Gillette does not like me. That's where all this
Right.
is coming
First
from.
of all, Ms. Gillette is not the judge. I am. And
I
you've
said
been before-
I
You've been
misspoke.
before me before.
Yes, sir, I know.
All right. So are
No,
you
I
still on
misspoke.
probation?
Yes, sir. As far as I know.
Well, if you're on probation and convicted of a new offense, that'll be a violation of that probation.
That's why Miss Gillette is doing this. My attorney already told me Miss Gillette does not like me. That comes
Right
from
now-
Miss Gillette to my attorney.
Right
That's
now,
a conflict of interest.
right now, you don't have an attorney on this case. Is Ms. Mary Ann Shirley are you going to hire her on this case?
I will talk to her, but Gillette knows what she's doing. She likes tearing families apart. What happened when Karma finally
Mr.
come to
Perez-Biehl,
yours, Gillette?
Mr. Perez-Biehl, you've indicated that you want a trial. And you also indicated that you wanted to have a trial by jury. To do that, you have to file a written request for a misdemeanor.
I have to file a written request.
If you are going to be representing yourself, you need to understand there's disadvantages in that. One disadvantage is I don't believe you have the training that an attorney has.
No, but I also don't have everything I make's going to try and keep our home and stay afloat right now.
Right. As I indicated before, if you wish to have an attorney but cannot afford an attorney, you can apply to the court. If you meet the financial guidelines, then I would appoint an attorney to represent you. If that may not be an attorney that you select.
I will talk to Miss Mary Ann Shirley.
All right. So if you're going to talk with an attorney, typically what we do is we schedule another hearing to give you that opportunity. And we call that a control hearing or a status hearing. Do you wish to do that, or do you wish to go ahead and schedule a trial?
If we schedule a trial and I show up with an attorney, will that be allowed?
Well, it would, but if you're asking for a jury trial, there's certain things that you have to do. Right now, you're representing yourself. That can be, you need to understand that the disadvantage that people have by doing that sometimes is more than others, but you will be required to follow the rules as you are an attorney if you're representing yourself. Most people don't know what those rules are and so forth. So that presents a real disadvantage at times. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you're going to apply for an attorney or talk with Ms. Shirley, what I'll do is schedule a control hearing. That is not waiving your right to a trial. All right. If that control hearing or status conference, which we'll set in about 30 days, if you still wish to have a trial, we'll schedule that. We can schedule for either in person, either before the court, or you can be represented If you wish to have a jury trial, you need to have your request made in writing for that. And we would schedule a trial by jury. Now, there was a hearing that was scheduled on December 13th, and you did not appear at that time. I issued a bench warrant, and you had been served with the summons. Now, later that day, you contacted the clerk's office, and then you did surrender yourself and posted a $5,000 cash or surety bond, and that bond is still in effect.